Hi, my name is Yehudah Kaszirer. I'm director of Bikur in Lakewood. I'm a Paramedic as well. Over the years, unfortunately, I've seen many of these tragedies occur in front of us, and to discuss such an important topic is tremendous.
Hi, I'm Avrum Meir Follman. I'm a paramedic with Hatzalah for the last 22 years. I'm in the Chever Hatzalah for the last 30-something years. I have seen a lot in my life, and we're going to talk about this today.
So, literally, as you said, I think so many times the action is unfortunately the reaction, and when we stand on the scene or when we stand by the patient's side, in the hospital, in the trauma room, on the way to the trauma room, everything with all the bits and pieces that are being put in place. As we all know, I say it all the time, Klal Yisrael is so lucky. We are such a rich nation, Kanai Nahara, in resources, and everybody wants to do the right thing. And even when we do the wrong thing, it's always with good intentions. We're an amazing, amazing nation. The Rebbeinu Shalom put us in Gulas, but he gave us such a phenomenal support system in place. And we get to see the best in the Shensta when these tragedies happen. But, amongst those in the know, we all know and we all see so many times where it's so avoidable. So many times it's minor tragedies. And one of the things that we don't even pay attention on is the close calls that happen on a daily basis,
Like we say, an ounce of prevention is more than a pound of cure. We could prevent a lot of things, what's happening, what happened, and we just have to put our brain to it. Let's say we are on the road and somebody passes you and the road rage. I'm going to show him. Show what? Whom are you showing? You have your wife, your children, your grandfather, everybody's in the car. What are you showing? Whom are you showing? And that's how life is. But you get mad at the second, and a little thing what you do for 1 second could kill your whole life, and it makes an accident. What happens by accident is so many parties involved. Everybody has a mother, a father, a shvega, children. There's so many people involved, and it could have been prevented just a little savlunas. I once heard from the Bevel Rebbe. He said there is a statistic that on July 4th weekend in America, 1,000 people die. 1,000 people die on a July 4th weekend. It's a MacGyver. Nah, it's only a statistic. What do you mean a statistic? These 1,000 people, everybody has a mother, a father, brothers, sisters. It's like 50,000 people involved in this problem. And it's only a statistic. By Klal Yisrael, Kol Mekayim Nefesh Achas, everybody is a oila mula. You can't say it's a statistic. You have to. It's a oila mula, but it could all be prevented. So we have to watch what we do in the summer to prevent these accidents.
I think literally, as you're saying, there's one end, and I really want to thank Rebbe who started this initiative and seeing this initiative through, and there's so many others that are involved in going out and doing a proper prevention campaign. It's so important, but I think there's two components of it. There's one end, which is the literally making the Imyat Hashem, the amount of tragedies that will be averted because of this. But what it really boils down to is there's a message that everybody has to take home, but then it has to be put into Regilas. There's a certain amount that people need to know. There's certain safety measures, real safety measures that have to go into the place that people need to know that are chayk v'lo. And I think it's a message that every one of us have seen. And unfortunately, we've seen a lot. Yes. But we're not the professionals, and there are professionals that have guidelines out there. But we have to make it the community norm. At the end of the day, as much as we should or we shouldn't, there's certain things.
About regilas, la'olam yimka uda mashi yesh loy, V'yikach, he should buy a menulav v'dayt raglov. He should buy shoes. He should sell everything to buy shoes. What has it to do with shaykhis? I once heard a nice word on it. He should do everything in the world. He should sell everything, anything he owns. V'yikach menulav, he should buy a lock. Le raglov, for his regilisen, for his habits. You have a habit of chaos when you drive? No, you have to watch on it. That's not good. You cross like a zombie, you run into the guy, that's not good. And you have to teach your kids the same. There was once a head counselor who told me years ago, Skvere camp had a big accident. And a bunch of Bucher Nebuch were killed. It was a big tragedy. The head counselor told me he can't sleep at night. I gave them the keys to the car. And I didn't warn them that a car is a weapon. A car is a gun. You could use it for protection and you could use it to kill. I didn't warn them. I cannot sleep at night.
As you see, I was a camper that summer in Camp Reim when it happened. I still remember that famous night. I still remember how that summer was destroyed. Even as a little kid, I was a little bucher then, I still remember how that famous accident. But if you take that, for me, unfortunately, that's a little bit of a mile marker. How many, every summer, we hear Nachamas, a story. And Kanai Nahara today, it's not just the Catskills. There's road trips. Unfortunately, my phone rings 24/7. I ended up in this hospital. I'm not even in a hospital yet. And so many different things that happened. And let's understand one thing, and I think it's a little bit of a prerequisite. We're mispal to the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu should be shomer and matzal, but I think it's also the amount of and not the amount of a status chas v'shalom, but that the Rebbeinu Shalom sees that we're doing ours on safety. Then that itself is a shmira. People, we can't be mafkir ourselves, and it's a tremendous responsibility that everybody has, and we just do it every day. We get behind the wheel, and we come and we travel. And can I know Klal Yisrael's in the numbers today?
And Hashem says, open to me a door. Kechita shel machit, v'ani efta lechem pesach pischa shel ilam. So we have to do ours, and like I said before, an ounce of prevention is more than a pound of cure. So we have to talk about the roads, scooters, bikes, all kinds of things that people... My son was so good, I bought him a scooter. The scooter is an electric scooter, is going 45 miles an hour. On your phone, you could turn it down to 10 miles an hour or 5 miles an hour. Why did you let him go 45 miles an hour into the shul? He went to the shul and he hit the wall and he went like a rocket. Where's his helmet? Where are the other protections? You have to keep focused. You have to be focused when you do something for your children. You have to be focused. What are they going to do with it? Rollerblades, scooters, bikes without helmets. Every single year in the Catskills, I go on calls. Head injuries, brain injuries, and it stays a whole life. If you get a good concussion, a whole life you have headaches, you have other stuff. Why? The mother could have told the child, I know you're a child, but you have to wear a helmet before you take the bike, and you have to enforce it. It's not, he's just going to the grocery, he's just going down to buy an ice cream. It doesn't work that way. You don't know when it's going to happen. You always have to wear the seatbelt in the car. What happens if you don't wear the seatbelt in the car? After they made the seatbelt law, first of all, the Bevel, when they made the seatbelt law, was in the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. Cars didn't have no seatbelts, and the cars were heavy iron cars at that time. If you had a collision, it was the kinetics, the person went out of the car and flew to the other side of the road. So the first time he went into the car with Bucher, and we wanted to see what he's going to do with the seatbelt, and the seatbelts weren't yet automatic. It was, you had to take it off from the top there with like two little hooks. He took it off. So he said, this is a Sache von der Sisse Marke le Gagechel. Jeder versteht, dass da so eine Marke auf der Dach muss nicht darauf fallen. But this guy ran at the gate of Sisamak, you put on your seatbelt. And big deal. I'm just taking my son on my lap in the front seat of the car. A little short stop. The car's going 10 miles per hour. A little short stop. The little kid's head is through the window, through the windshield. And there's a big spite on the windshield. You could have avoided that. Put him into the car seat. I could say, and my children know that. I never, ever, ever took a kid in my car without a car seat. No favors. I know my wife was a lot of times very mad at me. She wanted to do a favor for somebody. No. Seatbelt, seat, car seat. If there's no car seat, the guy doesn't fit in, too bad. I can't take him. It's not worth.
I think literally, like you're saying, it's the discipline end where people really need to put safety first. So many times people are in a rush. They're in a rush. They have to get somewhere. Like you're saying, there's a carpool, just one more kid in the neighborhood that wants to go with.
I'll tell you an interesting story. A friend of mine is taking a couple of kids to the country, they're angestippt in the car, a bunch of kids, and he sees a Yid stuck on the highway. So what does he do? He stops. And he goes back into the car. A police car pulls up behind that guy. Why are you here? I have a flat tire. The guy tried to help me. And the policeman walks back to his car. He sees all the children in the car. He got like 8 tickets. He had to buy a bicycle after that. So many children were in there. So even though you think you're trying to avoid the system, but the system is after you.
I think literally, like you said, all of these safety measures are in place to remind people of what they need to do. And you know, I think when we sit down and, you know, when we have the opportunity to sit down over here in a studio and discuss it, everybody understands it from making sense. But what we really need to do is put it into practice, how much people can make a difference in their own actions just by putting certain safety things in place. You know, in the good old days before somebody would, maybe the Catskills not, but if anyone would get on any road trip, they would go to the AAA office and they would have to flip through a couple of maps.
Once upon a time, before the GPS days.
Before the GPS days.
People knew where they are going to. Today, nobody knows where they're going to. I don't know, GPS took me. We went to the AA office, we got the road with the arrows, and you have to make the right, the left.
With the highlighters.
Yeah, people know where they're going. Today, nobody knows where they're going. You ask somebody, where are you? I'll send you a location. Nobody knows where they are. And my son asked me, what's the way to the Catskills? I start telling him, you go on the Washington River, after Washington, take the 4, the 17. Ich weiß nicht. Ich fuhr und ich komme. I just go and I arrive. That's the way it works today.
And in the good old days, and even talk about in Halacha, with leaving on Erev Shabbos on time, or people leaving for appointments late. What happens is you end up leaving, you know, literally like the GPS says, and you hope that you get there before that the GPS says, and you bist gelungen. But in reality, the amount of things that were put into the amount of safety precautions that were totally disregarded in order to get there.
And the GPS gives them another half an hour. Oh, ich komme eine halbe Stunde vor Shabbos. I'll arrive. And all of a sudden the GPS starts to go up because it takes 5 or 6 hours the way out of Shabbos. So what does he do when there is a little space? He starts to speed. What happens? He can't brake. He is just in his head, I got to get there, I have to get there. And the accidents happen on the Sundays and on the Fridays, and it's not good results.
And then I'm surprised we didn't bring this up yet. But talk about coming from city travel and highway travel to when you get into some of the windy roads in the Catskills. You know, people are more than thrilled that there's no traffic lights and there's no traffic over there, but the dangers that are in front of people. I was in the Catskills this past Shabbos, Matzah Shabbos, 3-4 deers right in front of me, literally on an open road, and you know, if a person doesn't have two hands on the wheel and is, you know, literally watching where he's going, al tiftach peh, what can happen. And I think especially with the younger drivers, not that the older drivers are any more immune to it, but there's definitely an educational piece to it. Knowing what the environment is, what can come out at you is really, really important. And
you have to remember the Erev Shabbos is stop signs. People think it's empty the road, But don't forget, on the other side of the road, there's also somebody in a rush for Shabbos. And he's also not watching. He's also a Yid, a Heimische guy, and he's also not watching on the stop sign, but you might hit him. So all these precautions you have to look out for. And it could be avoided. A bissel geduld, you'll get there when you get there. Don't look at the watch, just do it. If you see it there, if you're not going too fast, you can stop in time. If just keep your eyes on the road. If you're tired, do not drive. Just sit home or chapadrimmel, how they say, take a nap and then drive. A lot of accidents happen because the person is tired. And he said, I could do it. No, it's not a problem. All of a sudden, he gives a dose for a second. You feel the dose for a second. You're in the divider, you're over, the car is turned over, and all the people in the car. There was once a story, there was a flood in Seagate by Sandy. And everybody had to evacuate. And they call out on the mics, everybody has to evacuate, the 6 o'clock, the water is coming, here to go. So there's one Yid there, has to evacuate. Ich glaube in der Eibischte. He's going to save me. Ich glaube in der Eibischte. Ja, sei fein, du bleibst in der Eibischte. All right, the water starts to come, and he's on his front stoop, and the little boat from the police comes through. No, let's go, come on. No, ich glaube, everything is going to be fine. No, ich bin bald betuchen. And the water is right by the first floor. A bigger boat, the Coast Guard comes. No, come around, let's go, come in. No, I'm fine. The guy is on the roof of the house. The helicopter comes. Oisha, let's go, come in. Nein, ich glaube, I'm good, I'm fine. And all of a sudden, the wave comes, takes him away. He comes up to the Bezna Shalmala. Mulatanis, what do you mean? Ich bleibe in der Eibischte. How can you take me up here? So, the Bezna Shalmala starts to smile. Who sent you the police car? Who sent you the first boat? Who sent you the Coast Guard? Who sent you the helicopter? Rabid, mit der mantig Sachen, we're talking to you. Safety. It's all a reminder. Me schickt dich von Himmel. Kannst bleiben, wie viel du willst. Das ist alles Remusen von Himmel. You have to watch and you have to take care of yourself.
And literally, as you're saying, we all know that Hakabadai Shemayim Chitzmir Shemayim and Sin of Apachim. We know that Yaakov Avinu, who before he went on his journey, and the Yaakov Avinu told him Al Tirgazi B'derech, and all the, everything that Yaakov Avinu told Klal Yisrael was, don't put yourself into a matzav of sakuna. Don't put yourself into that situation.
Kol hadruchim b'cheskes kuna.
Exactly.
All the ways of the cheskes kuna. And when you need chisim, everything comes together. There's a letter from the Bav Ruf to his daughter. His daughter had an accident. Like der roep dat in den brief zu ihr. He sent it after the accident. There was an accident with a bus. I'm talking in the 70s, a Besianka bus. How many rachmem you need? Although we came zum B'dais Bezen Shalmala. You came to Bezen Shalmala. There's a bus with girls. Some read not nice magazines. Some don't go sneezig. I'm going to turn over the bus. And the Bezen Shalmala tells him, no, you can't turn over the bus. They're going to get married to B'das Yerayim, Shalaimim. And then the Baal Shem Tov comes and tries to, no, but there's still good girls who behalten heit, Mechal Shabbat, I'm going to turn over the bus. Till his father came with Talais and Katanim from his children who were shot. In the schiz from this one girl, the whole bus got up. It's the story that every time you're on the road, it's becheskes kuna and you need schisim. And if you don't have the schisim, you're in trouble. So why put yourself into a bigger skuna if you don't have the schisim?
Listen, I think I want to touch on what we discussed in the beginning, and I think it's important to realize that, we know Kolamatzel Nefesh Hachas Yisrael Kilakim Eilamulei, and we all know, Baruch Hashem, over the years, we've bumped into people that we've helped out, either Mamish B'Pkich Nefesh or just assisted them when they've gone through whatever matzav they've gone through. unfortunately, when people read it in the news, they read it, they get that krechts, maybe they say kapitel tillim also, and they keep on going. And, unfortunately, if there's a tragedy, maybe the Menachem Oval, etc. I think till somebody goes through the matzah themselves, or doesn't see it up close, doesn't realize what it entails. Unfortunately, in Lakewood, myself or some of the other volunteers are there with every single trauma that comes into the trauma room. And the amount of emotions, and if people would know the tsar that families go through, and not to dramatize it, but I think I know that little room, mamash, I can tell you every single detail and every emotion till people are waiting to hear. What did the doctor say? How did the doctor say? A janitor walks out of the trauma room and they think already they're watching the yeshia, they're hearing news already, and the amount that people are loyal put into when they're going through this, and not that at that point it's a point where someone would say this was avoidable.
I had to be Mavasa last year. There was a girl killed in Williamsburg, a bus from a car, whatever it was. A 12-year-old girl, and I had to go tell the mother. I took along my son, he's a Hatzalah member, Flatbush member. He told me after that, Tati, never again. I can't. People don't understand what this means. After tragedy, you have to tell the mother. So why put us into such a matzav that we have to tell her? It could have been avoided. Everything could be avoided. It could have been avoided. But people are like that. That's why there's a pencil has an eraser, because men do mistakes. They do mistakes. Yeah, I know I have not getracht, but this whole video is for this. You should keep your mind open. Safety, safety, safety. You're driving a car, your tires are bald, or your tires are not bald. I know your lease is going to run out in 2 months. The tires are bald. You can't stop when you have to stop. Change those tires. Don't put your family at risk for $200 or $300, $400, even $400, $100 a wheel. I know your lease is gonna. Don't do that. You stop when you have to stop. It's a 4-way stop sign. Don't beat the system. Wear your seatbelts. Tie everybody up in the car. All the children should be seatbelted or in a car seat, like the law tells you. The law is there for you, so don't go against it. And more and more and more stuff from the car. Just keep your eyes open. You're the driver, and Hashem is driving you, but you're the driver. Just keep your eyes open and be ausgeschlafen. Take a nap if you have to. And one big thing, do not drink and drive. I don't mean cold soda. If you had some alcohol by a wedding, or you had something by a party, by all these kumzitzes today with the grills, do not take the keys in your hands. Even a little bit, even a drop. Do not take the keys in your hands. I know you could drive. I always drink. I could drive after that. The shtis gelangt einmal, it belongs again, but it's going to catch up to you. Don't be smartest in the system.
Literally, as you're saying, the achrayus that people have, and I think there's a certain self-control level that people need to know. Safety has to become an open factor. When someone drank, he shouldn't be embarrassed to whoever it is, be it to his spouse or to a friend, and say, listen here, I'm not able to drive. Can you get me an Uber home? Can you drive me home? Can you get my car home? And for whoever hears this out there, if a friend of yours ever gives you a call like that, I beg you, please drop whatever you're doing. Yeah, be the Bal Chesed then. Just figure out whatever you need to tell him to convince him that it's not a big issue for you to go do it. Drop whatever you are, because you might be getting that phone call. There's so many times people want to, beat the system, beat their luck. Another good tip is, if somebody calls you, when are you going to be there? Reply to the person, I'm on Coney Avenue. I'm on Coney Island and L. you could figure out how long it takes. Do I know what the factors are? I'm on this and this highway. Do I know what the factors are? Do I know how things are going to change? So many times we tell a person, I'll be there in a half hour, I'll be there in 45 minutes. There's so many different variables that change on us as things change. I think when people are open about it and tell people, it leaves them, it doesn't put them in a spot where they have to beat the system, as we say.
Another safety issue in the countries, in the Catskills, people take walks. They walk on the roads. Not all roads have enough lighting. And even during the day, the road is very narrow. Always walk against traffic and wear a reflector. Hello, yes, wear a reflector. I know wear a reflector, but wear a reflector. It might save your life. And hiking, when you go hiking, drink enough. You're going to walk a long time. Take a long enough water. Take a long enough food.
What I really think is all the points that we mentioned and others have mentioned, people should really take this to heart. There's so many times where these accidents and these tragedies are really avoidable, and people should take it seriously. And guess what? If we do, like the Bible misses say that if they can get one person to listen and it could change one person's life, if through these messages, people hear these messages, these are, I'm sure there's a large audience out there, but whoever you've seen today, whoever you've seen on these podcasts, are people that have been dealing with these tragedies year after year, day after day. These are the people that are out there. We are the people that are out there taking care of Klal Yisrael when tragedies hit. We're begging and pleading with you for yourself what you can do to avoid these accidents.
Just emotional. And today there are, in every car you have airbags. Once upon a time, there were no airbags. Today, when a car has an accident, all the airbags explode. And sometimes we come on the call, on the location of the accident. We find that the person has a broken leg, a broken hand. And to clap the cup a whistle. And the people go, was is where the airbags? People are breaking the hands, the feet. Why do Rabbi say, once upon a time, these people, nobody knew that they broke their hand and the feet because they were dead. And after the seatbelts came out, there were a statistic that since there's seatbelts, a lot of people break the ribs and the hands and the feet, because before that, nobody looked at them because they were dead. So it helps. Prevention helps. It makes it better. It makes a softer landing. And somebody said, what wasn't the handtige cars? What is worse to today's cars? You give a Z and the whole car falls apart. If you know kinetics, you know why it falls apart. It shouldn't have a
forceful impact.
A big impact. So it helps. So what we're talking now, it should help, because we're begging you and we're asking you, keep your eyes open. Just focus on what you have to focus. Focus on safety, safety, safety. You sit in your car, the guy cut you off, don't cut him back off. Just keep on driving. The guy passed you. All right, he passed you. Big deal, soon you'll pass him. But don't do it with Achzurius. Just keep your calm. It saves lives.
I think just one other thing which I don't think has been mentioned, and I think it's important for everybody to remember, is talking about knowing where you're going, and if you never skip an exit. If you skip an exit by mistake, keep on going. There's another exit. It might be 5 miles down. Yes, I know. It's some like of the junctions.
Weather.
It's 50.
It's like the weather. What's the good part of a bad weather? There's a better one coming. You skip the exit. Just keep on trucking to the next exit. Do not back.
Do not back.
No. And keep your eyes open when you go out by the exits. Today they're fixing it already all over, but they used to have 2 lanes. One lane
for ongoing
to go out to go out of exit, one to go back into the highway. Sometimes people at night, they don't see the difference, and it says a sign wrong way, do not go in there. You're going to get hit, head-on collision. I could tell you 10 accidents in the last 30 years, people died. They went into the wrong place.
Yeah.
So watch what you're doing.
I think we need to daven to the Rebbeinu Shalom that people should stay safe.
Tfilas haderech, you leave, tfilas haderech, the whole car with all the children. Nicht die Chamoizige wenn jeder eine. Everybody needs Rachma Shemaim. Everybody is on the way. Everybody is in the car. Kol deruchem b'cheskes kuna, tfilas haderech.
I think we also need to remember why people go up to the mountains. I think everybody looks at it as a vacation. It's not just a vacation. It's Baruch Hashem. At this point, we could say almost it's a Messiah. People want to get out of the city life. People want to get a little bit menichas hanefesh, a little bit to get out of the city environment, which everyone needs to get out of from a gashmius level, from a ruchnius level, and that should really be a shmira. The Rebbeinu Shalom ultimately.
Shmiras Anayim and everything. That should help them.
We should
Hashem Yishmet Tzayzchu Ve'echel. Me'atu Ve'adoilam. We should always have Hatzlucha when we go, when we come back.
Oh, mine.